Case file underscore parking lot dash 23, somewhere in Penza, Russia. In 2011, local police began noticing a strange pattern. At first, it looked unrelated. A young man failed to return home after a late-night drive. Weeks later, a young woman disappeared after stopping at a roadside gas station, then another, then another. Within months, at least 4 missing person reports involving young men and women shared one thing in common. All had vanished while out at night. No bodies were found, no suspects were identified, no evidence connected the cases. The investigations eventually went cold. Then the recordings appeared. It started with a parking lot, not an abandoned one, not ruined, just wrong. 23 cars sat beneath dead lights in perfect silence. No engines, doors locked, no owners, no bodies. Some vehicles were years apart in manufacture. Some still contained phones whose batteries somehow remained alive long after they should have died. Every recording recovered from those vehicles told part of the same story, and every recording ended the same way. A man, sometimes standing between parking spaces, sometimes visible through a windshield, sometimes reflected in glass where nobody should have been. Nobody ever captured his face correctly. Old dash cams recorded it as a glowing square. Phone cameras smeared it into white light. Audio distorted whenever he appeared. Investigators began referring to him as M at N. The first publicly acknowledged case belonged to Jeff. On November 29, 2013, Jeff found himself inside the parking lot and began documenting everything around him. He counted the vehicles, 23, exactly 23. He even drew the layout and told viewers to count them themselves if they doubted him. At first, Jeff approached the situation logically. Then strange things began happening. His radio displayed Thai text despite no station playing. The message read, "M at N is coming. You cannot escape." Shortly afterward, Jeff crashed his 2005 UAZ Patriot. Most victims never survived that point. Jeff did. He continued traveling. He found an empty gas station, then a house. The lights worked, the furniture remained. Nobody was there. Then Jeff recorded a message. "What is that man?" Outside the window stood the glowing figure. His final recording showed fire spreading through the building. He begged for help. Investigators later found his burned body hidden beneath a bed. A strange symbol had been painted across his chest. The same symbol appeared on his abandoned UAZ. DNA recovered from the scene belonged to a horse. No explanation was ever found. 1 month later, on December 31st, another recording surfaced. Henry. His Audi dashcam showed him leaving the parking lot. Seconds later, the figure appeared in the road. Henry struck it. The Audi launched into the air and crashed onto a rooftop. The recording ended before the final impact. Then came Bob. His VAZ 2112 moved through a lower level of the parking structure overgrown with grass and dirt. He left. The figure appeared. His headlights died instantly. Metal screamed. The dashcam rolled sideways. Authorities later found Bob's overturned vehicle on an empty, fog-covered road. His body lay outside, as though he had escaped the wreck, as though something had found him afterward. The strangest footage came from an iPhone dated February 11th, 2014. 5 friends woke up inside the parking lot with no memory of how they arrived. While recording casually, one unknowingly captured the figure standing behind a white van. Nobody noticed him. Moments later, panic erupted. "Dude, where are we? What is that noise? What's that man? Oh, what?" The phone was thrown during a violent impact and continued recording until noon the next day. No bodies were ever recovered. The final major recording came from 3 friends, Michelle, Ethan, Chris, MEC. Chris turned off the dashcam. A normal Russian night stretched around them. Dark mountains stood in the distance beneath the darkness. Then the camera adjusted. They were no longer where they had fallen asleep. They were back in the parking lot. And in the distance, M at N was slowly walking toward them. Silence. One of them woke up confused. Where are we? Another looked outside. This is the parking lot with the entity. The others laughed nervously. Someone called him crazy. Someone told the driver to leave. Then they found an exit. Moments later, the screaming began. The road! The headlights! Oh God! It's him! The vehicle bounced violently, then silence. Only the engine remained running. Several seconds later, a voice spoke in perfect the AI. I have taken 23 lives, but not a single body was found. That message changed everything. Investigators reviewed Jeff's footage. 23 cars, exactly 23. Then they noticed something else. The vehicles inside the parking lot changed over time. Jeff's UAZ appeared in later recordings. Other victims' vehicles appeared after they disappeared. The collection was growing. One vehicle at a time, one victim at a time. Jeff had unknowingly counted the victims. The cars were not abandoned. They were trophies. Evidence that someone had been taken. Nobody ever discovered where the bodies went. Nobody ever learned what Emmett N was. But one warning appeared repeatedly throughout the recovered footage. If strange Thai text appears on your radio and no music is playing, do not stop, because by then the parking lot may already be waiting for you. Despite the warnings, people keep going missing. The police didn't know what to do. After a year, almost 5,200 people went missing. But then the same problem happened in Moscow, and then Saka. A person from the military had waited in a tank. They saw Emmett N. He shot. A loud boom was heard. It woke someone up. But after the fog had cleared, man was unharmed. Then he went missing. Police said that after sunset, get in a building and wait there for the night. Some people still went missing, but it all cleared. People still go missing, and that's the story of man.